Thirdly, one of the ways to ensure or measure the level of commitment of any leadership in any society is the level of verifiable development stride of that administration or leadership. In today's edition of Politics and Leadership, we are going to be looking at the factors that has been the bane or that has hampered the growth of uh, industrialization of Nigeria. All right, so why is it that we do not have as many industries as possible that would absorb the number of graduates that we turn out in our institutions of higher learning on a yearly basis? Because if that is not the case, we won't have the high rate of unemployment that we have in our society today. In today's edition, we are going to be looking at the role of the government in turning the tide, and then the role of the private individuals and private industry owners, what they can contribute to ensure that our society become industrialized. I will be right back after this short break. Do stay with me. A good leader is an individual entrusted with the collective destiny of a group of people as well as the development of a given society. He is saddled with the honors to effectively manage human and material resources in his domain for the good of all. Politics and Leadership on HMIS TV highlights and interrogates crucial topical issues in our polity so as to move our society forward. Politics and Leadership for a progressive society. Welcome back from that short break, and we said earlier that the topic of today's discussion is the bane or the factors that are hampering the industrialization of our country, Nigeria. Right, but it will be very, very important for us to even try to, define the term industrialization. For a layman would say that industrialization simply means the establishment of industries in a given society that would contribute or would make the production of goods and services in that society a little bit easier and more profitable. All right, because industrialization has to do with mechanization and automation. Okay, in this generation that we are in, yes, back then, in the era of agrarian, society, um, everything was done in a way and in a manner that doesn't, have to involve the use of machines. Okay, yes, but industrialization has to do with involving more of machines and less of human strength and exertion. All right, so factors hampering that the realization of that dream in our country. All right, the first thing that we have identified today is the level of our technological know-how. Okay, yes, because you wouldn't even begin to do what you do not know how to do. Okay, yes, it will amount to madness or insanity for someone who does not even know the way to the village square, to attempt to start looking for where the village square is. Okay, yes, what you do not know, it's greater and more than that individual. So why is it that we do not know, the process, involved, the mechanized process, of manufacturing goods in our society. For instance, why over the years we have been refining our crude oil abroad outside the shores of this country is because we do not know, how to, do that in our society here. So, but why is it not that? Is it that our tertiary institutions, are not living up to expectation? All the professors, engineering professors that we have in our tertiary institutions, okay, don't they have the requisite know-how, expertise, okay, of how to run a refinery? Or is it that the government just intentionally, okay, refused to build refineries in this country? Well, I don't know. It's left for the government to tell us. But that's the first factor. We need to bridge the knowledge gap, okay? Because we are taking it abroad before the establishment of Dangote refineries that we have here in Nigeria. Okay, now everything was being refined abroad, so we need to improve on our level of expertise and know-how and acumen. Okay, yes, and that does not apply to the industry, petroleum sector alone. Yes, often you will see people flying abroad to go and do one surgery or the other. Okay, so what we're asking, all the surgeons that we have in this country, is it that they cannot perform those functions in our national hospitals? Okay, so well, you would say it will be the choice of individuals that is being flown abroad. Well, that is something that the individual involved has to answer. So the second factor we are looking at today is government policies. Okay, yes, we understand that, but we do not know whether it's very, very true that there was a policy. Okay, yes, that made it in such a way that every crude that was brought out from the various oil wells would be immediately, they had this method or approach that once it is gotten out from the oil wells, it's sent directly. It was a policy, like this is how we want it to be done. Send it there, let them refine it and bring it back. There was no effort to even try to refine oil here in Nigeria, because if anybody had done that, it would have been contravened the policy that the government put in place with regards to oil refining. So it's about the policies, yes, and no one would start imposing himself on the government or herself on the government, saying that you must refine in our own refinery, you must bring the oil to us. So it's about policies, okay, policies of government. But how friendly, how beneficial was that policy, as long as it ran, in Nigeria. All right, so the next thing is access to finance, okay, because you cannot even establish industries, because we know that development is private sector driven, okay. Government, has a limit to what they can do. So if private individuals are going to establish refineries, rice mills, and all those things, how would they get the money? Would they, approach commercial banks who do not have enough funds, to even lend them in the first place? But I got to realize there's something that they call Bank of Industries, which is the ideal bank that is supposed to provide the finance that's necessary for the establishment of industries and private businesses that would, contribute in, stemming the tide of unemployment or the rate of unemployment in this country. But personally, I got to realize that that organization or that institution is not really living up to what its expectations I had a very, very unique experience with them when I was in Abuja. I've had a lot of experiences, and that's why I'm sharing them with my audience, so that they will know what to avoid. They shouldn't even bother to go there in the first place, because the kind of rigmarole that you would do, they will make you do. You realize that you have wasted your time and money and resources and energy. Because you will be dealing with them, and they will be, be making you look like a mumu. Look at what they will do. You will send them a mail. They will not ask you, tell us your functional email address, tell us your functional phone number. What kind of thing is that? After you have fulfilled all the conditions, 1 week, they are still asking you, what is your functional email address? What is your functional phone number? The next week, what is your functional phone number? What is your functional email address? For 3 months, what is your functional email address? You would realize that you are just wasting your time, and you will just go and rest, because they wouldn't give you any loan or facility. So don't even try. Okay, now the next one is superstition. Okay, yes, because we have realized that our society is one that is being influenced by religion to a great extent. Okay, when you talk about the African traditional religion, okay, the taboos that we have in our land, that there are things that you not even do. If you dare try to build an industry or establish one, the gods of the land will kill you. There are certain things, there are certain areas you don't do certain things. It is believed that the gods will not like it, so if you do it, they will come after you. So those are superstitions. Okay. So this is where we're going to take a break, and then politics and leadership will come back in a jiffy. Makata Makata EO. There are so many things you could do at Smith Enterprises, from creating original and fascinating jingles to typing, printing, and photocopying your documents. Computer and IELTS lessons are crucial services we offer to our clients at a very pocket-friendly rates. You could also contract us to ghostwrite books of any length and type for you. What's more, we compose, teach, and produce songs for individuals and institutions. That's not all. If you want to add color to your outdoor events, Ismail's crew is the best crew to work with. You can reach us on 080 6235 8606 or 09 you or hit any individual. The person wouldn't have a pre. Welcome back from that short break, and this is the concluding part of the program, and we're going to be looking at the solutions that we've provided concerning these issues that we have enumerated. Okay, now the first thing is that there is need, okay, to improve on what is being taught in our higher institutions. Okay, because if we even look at the only refinery that we have in Nigeria, the people that are handling the key sector of that refinery are white people. We do not know how to do it. So knowledge transfer, what policies have been put in place to ensure that we, indigenous people of this country get to know, what those white men know. There's no policy. In the next 15 years, in the next 20 years, refineries that will be built in Nigeria will be run by white people, expatriates. Okay, so why? Why must we continue to be, a slave to, the Western climb? Okay, in that regard, they would not let you know exactly that which they know. Right. The second thing that we have identified is that there is need to do genuine and sincere liberalization of that sector. Okay, they call it deregulation. Okay, where people will be encouraged to go into that sector. Where everybody is given a level playing field to go into do business, genuinely do business without favoritism, and all those things. If you come, you have your money, if you're an investor, the policy that applies to one person applies to the other person, and nobody will be victimized. Okay, yes, that's it. Now the next thing that we identified has to do with access to finance. Okay, the bank of industry that we have in Nigeria, you people would have to start, being truthful to yourselves. What are you people doing with the funds that is yearly allocated to your institution? Because there's no way that the institution will be established and there won't be, any allocation. It's a government institution, so I know they will yearly give them allocation there's, of course, they established that in mind, bearing in mind that they would have to help, startups and small scale and medium scale, businesses in Nigeria. So why are they hypocritical to themselves? Okay. Yes. Now the final thing is that partnerships, but partnership has to do with, trust. Okay. Yes. If you are going to approach a Westerner, okay, a white man, for instance, that you see, I have this idea, but the only thing is that I don't have the finance or the way that to go about it. The person will look at you first as a Yahoo man or a Yahoo boy, You want to dupe me. It will not be well with you. Your brothers have done it to me before, you see. So it has to do with before you will make, someone who is not, related to you to trust you to provide the funds that would, be used to run an industry. Of course, you would have done a lot of work, to earn the person's trust. So that is it. This is where we are going to be drawing the curtain today. Remember that the program was brought to you by Itsmus Enterprises in conjunction with Imo State Government, led by His Excellency Hope Uzodinma. Now remember to get the copies of our books on Amazon, Torn Apart, Rise from the Rubble, Spiral Gyra, Strewn, and all of them. Naira and Kobo is a poetry collection. Until I come your way again, my name still remains MC Leaky saying goodbye for now.